everyone. Welcome to Evolving Consciousness Retreat. This is a show where we talk about how you can unlock your 5D consciousness so you can finally embody the age of love. My name is Paige, and I'm super honored to be introducing you to our special guest, my dear friend, the host and the creator of this event, Janet Miller, the Divine Light Activator. Hi, Janet. Welcome.
Hi, Paige. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm so honored to have you here.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I know that you have a special message as to why you even started this event. Now, Janet, I remember when you created Own Your Divine Light show, you've actually hosted 3 seasons of it already.
Mhm.
And this year, you actually also published your co-authored book called Women Let's Rise. And just before we ended 2020, it was very important, and you felt called to put together another special event to really match our ever evolving reality. And so this is why we're doing evolving consciousness. And one of the things that I've heard you oftentimes is you talk about how we are living in a very important time in history right now, because you believe that humanity and our collectiveness, we are entering higher consciousness. Now, let's talk about that. What do you think is higher consciousness?
Well, higher consciousness is really, to me, it's light coming onto the planet, and light is love. So our hearts are opening, and there's different ways that it's been opening. And we've had a huge year of opening for all of us. I mean, 2020 was the year that nobody ever expected. I mean, nobody saw this coming. So neither did I. And when it started, it was all, of course, a fear-based situation. And so many people have turned it around because it's now what we call more like a gift, because it's really creating an environment where we get to look at ourselves at a deeper level. And we've talked about this before, but truly this is what we need, because
Yeah.
we've been we're busy doings and we're not busy beings. And so now we're being a being, and it's so important to be a human being right now, and to go in and to look at your life and to say, is this what I want in my life? And I think that's what people are doing right now. They're going in, they're stopping their life. I mean, sometimes you don't have a choice because you don't have a job all of a sudden,
Yeah.
or, your job wasn't happening for 3 or 4 months, and you may slowly be coming back in. I mean, I just worked with someone who just started back on her job after, since March. So their
Yeah.
job just opened up. So the world is in a very pivotal moment. And the moment is that we are meant to look at ourselves. It's the world, actually, Mother Earth is giving us a chance to look at ourselves, because her vibration is extremely high right now. And we are meant to match that. And because Mother Earth is shifting and changing, and we are meant to shift and change with her, because we are all one. We're all part of Earth. We come from the Earth. We return to the Earth as physical beings, but we're not just physical beings. We are essences in a human body. So this whole shift is what we came here for. I mean, this is the whole story of why we came here. We came here to bring light in the planet, to bring in a consciousness that we know that we're remembering that we are spiritual beings. We're remembering that we are so much more than we know. We are remembering that we have so much more power in our bodies than we've been told. We've given our power over. And so we're taking it back. I mean, people talk about sovereignty right now. They're talking about, my show is Own Your Divine Light, which is really sovereignty, which is stepping into your own personal power. And personal power is not ego. It's really stepping into loving who you are. And with that loving who you are, we have dark and light on the planet. And dark and light is really not a bad thing as far as inside you. It's just your shadow parts that come up, and that we learn through these shadow parts. This is our lessons that we've created as we come onto the planet. And so as we create these lessons and we start, overcoming these lessons, we start opening up the gifts and the talents in our lives. And I mean, for me, I'm 28 years sober. And so I didn't get sober till I was just about 40 years old. And so, I mean, I was always on a path of trying to do the right thing, but I was just in a cloud. I mean, I was very angry. I was very hurt. I was all kinds of things. And so I premedicated myself to get through that part of my life. And now, once I cleared my mind and I cleared my heart as much as possible, and it's an ongoing basis, I forgave a lot of people, then my world opened up. I mean, all kinds of things changed. I became an energy healer, an energy worker, a light worker. I was a nurse, and of course, this transitioned perfectly for me because I never felt like nursing was enough. I felt like I needed more. So
Mhm.
doing this kind of work is so perfect. And right now, we are here to own this sovereignty of who we are. We're here to shift the consciousness, and there's so many people waking up, and that's what this energy of 2020 is doing. It's waking us up. And
Yeah.
you can see people are waking up on a grand scale. I mean, so many people. I mean, we're in this, we're right in election time. We just had the election. So it's shifting the world, and we're in a bit of, we don't know what the outcome is for sure yet. So this is an important time for all of us to decide, what do we want in our life? Really, the election is not about the two people running. It's about dark versus light. And it's
Mhm.
really, what kind of world do we visualize in our world? And so you've got to dig deeper. You can't just look at what's not being told to you. You've got to really go in. And that's why this time is so important, to go in. And
Let's back that a little bit, Janet. You mentioned that, you've been 28 years sober, and right now you can see that so many people are waking up. 2020 is the year that no one anticipated, and it's waking everyone up. Now, I know that you've been doing, spiritual work for quite some time now, prior to 2020, but how is that waking up showing in your life? I'm curious to find out.
well, for me, I actually became a soul purpose oracle, which to me is a beautiful transition. I did a lot of energy work, but I knew I wanted to bring in more. And this soul purpose work is really helping people find out who they are and where they are in
Mm.
their life, because this is sort of the contract, the blueprint you brought in with your life to create your journey in this life, and what you were meant to learn and overcome in this life. That's what we do on this earth, is a school. I mean, a million of us has heard that
Yeah.
before. But when we come in with this blueprint, we have challenges, we have gifts, talents, and then we have goals. And we do it, two different ways: when you're younger in your physical world, and then as you get older, which I almost call the midlife crisis. 35 to 40 years old, people start shifting their thinking. They start going in, they start looking at their life. And that's when people, you know, drop jobs, they drop relationships, they drop all
Oh
kinds of
yeah.
things, because we're shifting a new way of looking at ourselves. It's like, well, is this what I really want in our lives? We are at like the midlife crisis of the earth right now. That's how I put it.
One way to put it.
Yeah, it is. It's the midlife crisis of the earth, because we're all looking at the world going, is this what we want? Is this
Mm.
really what we want in our life? And many of us are saying, this isn't what we came in for. We didn't come in to
Mm.
work 9 to 5, constantly be, slaving to just, we're really in the survival mode in so many ways.
Yeah.
And so we need to get out of this mode, because this is what the new energy is. The new higher consciousness is bringing us into that energy of, there's more to life. So
Mm.
if you don't love what you're doing, and the more we choose, the more we shift around us, because our choices change the collective. Every time we make a new choice, it's like that hungry monkey theory. It's like the pebble in the pond. You keep spreading out this energy of new thinking, of new ways of
Mm.
doing things. I mean, look what happened as COVID came in. We all went on to Zoom. We all went on to online, talking, and it really created a whole new community.
Mhm.
There was always a community online, but now it's a deeper community. People are not, everyone, people who didn't want to go on computers are on computers now. I mean,
It's the new
actually,
normal, as they say it.
well, that, yeah, the new normal, it's kind of like a weird word and to even talk about, but I don't know if it's normal. We're not going to go normal yet. I think
Not
it's
yet.
in flux. It's in
Mhm.
flux. And so what do we want? What are we creating? And so there's huge portals of energy coming in. There's so much light coming on the planet right now. We just had a huge full moon, which opened up another portal. We have this huge event coming up in 2020, December 21, 2020, which is
Mhm.
a huge portal opening in Uluru, which is Australia. And it's the center of Australia. It's the sacred Aboriginal portal, and it's right in the middle. And I've been there myself twice. And I was in Australia for 2.5 years, and I got back there in 2017 again, and got to go to Uluru again. And now they've closed that down, so it's only a sacred spot. People were
Mm.
climbing it I even climbed it way back when, not knowing it was sacred at the time. But now when I went back
Wow.
to 2017, I did not go on it because I knew that it was so much more. And when I was with the spiritual group, we did a lot of work of shifting. Oh, the energies around there are incredible. And it's opening up a new portal for us. We're really bringing in the Aquarian age in this portal. It's a connection of planets that is huge coming on that date. So we're preparing for this. This is what 2020 has actually been preparing us for, this
Mm.
portal, because we've allowed it to come through. And it was coming astrologically, but we're getting more and more ready because we're bringing so much light onto the planet, because so many people are waking up. And when I say light, it's because we're opening up our hearts. We're looking
Mm.
at ourselves, because me, light is love. It's equal. And we're opening up our hearts to allow compassion for each other. We're looking at so many different things going on in the world that we weren't even aware of, a lot of us,
Yeah.
and we're going to find out more and more.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's giving us so much compassion and empathy towards each other, in a way that we have to look at each other as one being, because we are all one. And where you're going through something, it's affecting all of us at another level
Mhm.
that we
We're all
don't know.
interconnected.
We are all interconnected. And when we do that, we're actually accepting that. I think we're actually understanding it. We're embracing it more, and we're
Mhm.
seeing ourselves as this oneness now that we never had totally connected before. And I think 2020 has allowed that. It's because we've been separated. We've had to be
Yeah.
separated. And with the separation, you realize how much you miss your community. You realize how much you miss connection with other people, where you think you like being alone, and all that old teaching, every man is, well, no man is an island, is what we always heard. But a lot of things was, take care of yourself and that kind of stuff. But no, it's really being here for each other in a
Mhm.
healthy way, where first you've got to go in, like we've learned this year. You've
Yeah.
got to go in, you've got to look at yourself, you've got to decide what is it you want in your life. And then when you make your own decision, you're helping others make theirs, because they're looking at you going, well, I want what that person wants. I want to do that part of thing. I want to learn that. I want to go there. I want to try that. So we're opening doors, so many new doors. And I think
I
that's
love
a
that you
great.
actually brought that up because you're right. Like oftentimes when we do inner work, we tend to burn some bridges and cut relationships or start something new, to the point where, in order to preserve yourself or to love yourself and maybe even put yourself first, which is, a lot of the times people are not used to that. But when they start looking in, they have this tendency to burn some bridges and to just, I guess, live in a way sort of isolated from the rest of the world, sort of like living in your own bubble. But now, with the whole awakening that's happening in 2020, I mean, the COVID, I think one of the big lessons is it's reminded us that we're all connected to one another. Something that happened in the other side of the world is affecting every other country, right?
Right.
And so that's just, I guess, a physical manifestation of how connected we truly are. And now that you're talking about higher consciousness, it's that individual decision that someone is making to open up their lives, to open up themselves to accepting in more light. And in turn, you're actually welcoming other people in your life. You're building these. So instead of burning the bridges, you're now building the bridges through compassion, by building awareness of what's really going on, right? And I think that's really powerful that you pointed it out that way. Now, obviously, Janet, whenever we're trying to reach the next level, there is always stumbling blocks along the way. Let's talk about, before we go into the individual person, let's talk about humanity as a whole. Right now, we are waking up and we're trying to reach a totally new level of consciousness, right? What can you see is hindering us from actually getting to the next level?
Yeah, well, people get really polarized, and this is the whole thing we're trying to let go, is this polarity that we have to,
Mm.
you're right or wrong or good or bad, all that. This polarity in our world is really affecting us deeply. So to, step away from the polarity and just allow people to have their opinion. You don't have to agree, but yet you don't also have to hurt these people because you don't agree.
Yeah.
So we've got to go down a neutral path. Somebody was talking about how there's two, there's two waves, and then all of a sudden the two waves coerce to get, they come together, or they also spread apart, they make a path in the middle. So when they make that path, this is the neutral zone. We've got to have a neutral zone in our life where we can look at each other and go, okay, in ancient times, or even way back in the early times, you hear about people discussion, they have discussion nights, they'd sit and they'd talk. They didn't agree, but they could still do it. And they didn't have to hate each other over it. They just agreed to disagree. It's like an intellectual conversation. It's not hurtful. It's not personal. It's just your thinking versus that thinking. Now, all of a sudden, we're in this thinking that I have to be right and you have to be wrong. And that is old thinking. And that's the paradigm of power that we were in, that we need to let go of. So this paradigm of power is what we're shifting out of into the paradigm in the era of love, which is saying, okay, I will listen to you. I am allowing you, I'm not allowing, I'm actually, well, I'm allowing, and I'm because I love you, because I see you are me. And so we have our separate thinking sometimes, but yet in the end, we want the good for all of us. People are saying, well, what do you want to see good happen in this world right now? Well, we want to take care of our children. Our children is number one, because without our children coming into the world in a healthier way and bringing in new ideas and ways of thinking, what are they going to have? So what we're looking at right now is so many questions of, do we want what we see right now? Do we really want what we're seeing right now? So it's showing us the total opposites of what we've had and what we could have. What do we want in our world? And what we're seeing right now is pretty limiting in my mind.
I think the issue before, like, if you just think about the history of, in the past, we have a problem where people are scared to speak up, right?
Yeah.
They're very more into the, I guess, more into the neutral, that they almost don't want to speak up. But now we are actually in a place in time and in history where everyone is not afraid to speak up, which is, it has its benefits, right? But like you said, it created this polarity. And I think it's okay to have polarity. I think the word that really is causing the problem here is that polarity is causing division, right? And ultimately, as you're saying, we all want the same thing. We all want what's good for everyone, but we can't get there because of this division that we have. Now, what are some of your advice on how someone can actually, I guess, step more into the realm of love and acceptance, where you can have your opinion and I'm going to listen, and I'm not going to judge you for whatever you think or however you think. And I still, despite you not agreeing to what I think, I still want what's best for you. How can we get there?
Well, I think you've got to go into your heart, just what we've been told to do right now. You've got to go do some inner work and decide how much you love yourself. I mean, it all comes from self-love. If you don't like yourself, how are you going to like anybody else? Really? This is what I've learned. I mean, I didn't like myself a whole lot when I was young, and I was kind of insulating myself from the world. Now that I've learned, that I had to forgive myself for things that I didn't think was, I made good choices, and we have to forgive ourselves first for some of the choices we made, and then move forward and go, okay, that's all I knew at the time. So when we do these kind of things, when we go and do that kind of work on ourselves, it opens up our hearts. It allows us to see others through a different lens, because now we're looking not through lenses of shame or blame or resentment. We're looking through a lens of love. We're looking through compassion. This is what we're looking at now. That's why all these different things have come up. And I do see people, you know, peacefully protesting, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you start going the other way, or you're being pushed away from doing peacefulness, I mean, you're not being allowed to have a voice. We're all allowed to have a voice. This is what we fought for, to have a free voice. So I just feel like when you come from your own inner work, when you do the inner work, it allows you to have a foundation where you can listen to people in a more open-hearted way. I mean, that's the simplest way I can answer it, because that's how I feel it worked for me. because now I can look at people in such a different way without being so judgmental and,
Mhm.
saying, well, you're not right, you're wrong. I mean, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but yet, I know that I have constantly shifted, and we have to constantly look at
Yeah.
ourselves. We have to constantly be monitoring our own thoughts, because thoughts are being manifested so quickly right now.
Oh yeah.
Everything that we're thinking, it's instant, because the energy on the earth is coming down so swiftly, and it's making it, I mean, the light is so bright, and the energy is accelerating so quickly, that anything we think is coming into reality.
Mhm.
And so that's why monitoring our thoughts is so important right now. So if you're having a hard time, go in, or look for someone to help you. You can get energy work done. You can have the soul purpose work can help you find more groundedness in your life. Like, where am I in my life? What do I need to do to shift this? Where So that kind of thing helps you see where your path has taken you, and now where you could go. That's what the soul purpose work can
Mhm.
do for you. But the energy work also helps shift heavy energies that you've carried all your life. I mean, people don't realize how much the energetic body holds, because that's
Mhm.
what dis-ease is in the body. It's
Yeah.
energy. And dis-ease is energy, is motion, and we have to clear it out or in order to have more clarity, and get that out of your body, so that you don't get disease. I mean, that's
Yeah.
another thing, just to do all these simple things. And it's not simple, it's simple, but it's powerful. I mean, when I started doing energy work, my life shifted, and I see people's lives shift every time I do energy work with them.
Mhm.
They feel better, and it's not, and you make space for something new to come in when you do that kind of stuff. So
One very practical thing that stood out for me in what you had just shared is really sitting down and asking yourself, how much do you like yourself? Are you
yeah,
liking the
yeah,
person that you're being, the
yeah,
person that you're becoming? And if, let's say, someone really sits down and they realize, I actually don't like the person that
mhm,
I'm being or the person that I'm becoming, then it's really a call to start looking in within and to start to learn that self-love and self-acceptance, because you can't give what you don't have. That's
exactly,
the message that I'm getting from you.
yeah.
You can't proclaim to someone that you love them or that you want what's best for them if you can't even give that to your own self, right? And so if someone finds out that they do need to do a lot of inner work, you mentioned, getting in touch with some energy healers, getting some energy work done, maybe realigning with their soul purpose, right? And I want to talk more about that, because I think it doesn't matter if you've been in the spiritual space or if you've been doing spiritual work for 5, 10 years, or if you're just getting started. It's always a continuous process, right?
Yes.
We're always evolving, we're always shifting. And one of the things that you're actually known for, Janet, is you help your clients reconnect, realign with their soul purpose.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit more about your process. How do you do that?
Well, it's a reading, and you give me your birth name, and your birth name is what the vibration that you sent to your family, to your parents, to bring through that vibration to create these creation codes. And the creation codes are a 500-year-old system that has, brought in all the energies of all of creation to give us a challenge. So we have a challenge. So we bring in a challenge, which is our first thing to overcome. And a lot of times people don't even realize they have that. I mean, they've got to
Mhm.
look at this like, what? Oh yeah, that was my challenge in my life. As soon as they see that, it just sort of turns the light bulb on, like, oh my gosh, I never looked at it that way. Then they get to open up, they become aware what the challenges were in their life. And through that
Mhm.
challenge, they end up shifting into the next thing is, what are the gifts that you've gotten through working on that challenge? I mean, maybe you're not 100% working on it, but you're working on it. You always are somehow.
Yeah.
Your soul, your higher self will help you get back on that path to help you, learn what you came to learn. So then you get into gifts and talents. And those are the things that you kind of naturally do. And if you look at your natural thing, the things that come to you the easiest in your life, those are your gifts, those are your talents. And you
Mhm.
may look at them as like, oh, they're not important, but yet they are, because those are the things that are effortless. Those are the things we're meant to use in our world. That's what's making us step into this higher vibration of love. And instead of being stuck into service in a way that we don't like what we're doing.
Mhm.
It's going to allow you to go on a path where you're going to love what you're doing because it's coming effortlessly. And then the next level is your goal. That gifts and that talent helps you to get to the next level, which is the goal that you want in your life. And there's a lot of different things that your talents can lead you to. And I help give you ideas of what those can be, that you could. And it doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter, because we can change at any time. We can shift at any time in our life. I talk to so many people of all ages, and they're willing to shift. I was always willing to shift. I'm still willing. It doesn't matter to me how old I'm going to be, because I know I'm always going to be working to learn more and to evolve more and to understand more about myself and people and the world that we're here to
Mhm.
service. So that whole thing gives people so much validation, and they find their physical path, how that got started in their life. And then they find their spiritual path, how that's leading you to your next level.
Mm.
And that's going through that midlife crisis, which is that deeper inner work. That's why I said we're in our midlife crisis on the planet.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going through this time of deep inner work. So number one, if you don't want to work with somebody right now, sit down and just go into a quiet spot and just start talk to your body. Say, what do you need to tell me? If you can sit in stillness and listen, that'll help too. Write things down. Go out in nature, get grounded, be grounded in your life, put the white light around you. I mean, there's different things you can do to just put yourself in a sacred space. I mean, we all know some of these things, but we don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
And because we get caught up. I mean, it sounds simple, but honestly, it's not so simple unless you build it into your life. And because we just get busy, we'll wake up and go, what do I have to do
Yeah.
today?
I
Instead of,
mean, just like what they say, common sense is not always common practice.
it's so true. That's a
Yeah.
perfect, I like that. Common sense
Yeah.
is not common practice. And this is the stuff that is, it's so simple, but we don't pay attention to it because we think
Mhm.
we like to keep it complicated. But plus we've got all this technology around us. It is very distracting. We're constantly being distracted. And that is another way of taking us out of our bodies so that we don't go in and we don't do the work we're meant to do. And
Mhm.
so, stepping away from the TV, stepping away even from the computer,
Yeah.
sit down and drop your phone, shut it off, or just put it in another room for a while and just give yourself an hour or so. I mean, you'll be surprised how much the hour could turn into two when
Mhm.
you start doing this writing. Just do a free flow writing. Like, how is my life going? What's going on? What do
That's
I need to
powerful.
look
Yeah.
at myself? I mean, just sitting there with that and just allowing that to flow. I mean, I've done that. It really opens the door to things that you don't even realize, because your subconscious starts coming through. It starts
Mhm.
giving you messages that you weren't allowing to come through, because it's always waiting. It's like your inner guides. These are all your guides coming in, telling you, well, not telling you, but they're showing you things that you need to see. They're not going to tell you what to do, but they're going to give you ideas about what's going on around you. What have you been doing?
Mm.
This is where I'm going. Is this where I want to go? So those are some of my practical, down to earth, things that I do.
And what really stood out for me and what you just shared with me is oftentimes people feel stuck because they have this physical path, right? And then they have this spiritual path, but you're not really going to go get much far in life or in your soul's purpose unless you intertwine those together, like verging the physical path with the spiritual path. And the soul purpose blueprint actually allows people to see the map of their life
Exactly.
and connect that path together so that they're moving forward and actually living it out. Now, I love that you share that with us, Janet, because I think, you know, for us to truly love ourselves, it means we really need to enjoy what we're doing in life, how we're spending our time, who we're spending our time with, and all of this is related to your soul's purpose, right?
Yes.
And just like what you've mentioned, 2020 is the year that people did not anticipate. There's so many surprises, right? And in fact, so many distractions, and also, I guess, like different depending on what your situation is. Some people may have it harder right now, right? Like they have a lot of struggles. Maybe they lost a job, and all of these things can be very pressing and demands a lot of our attention. But I want to find out, why do you believe that despite all of that's happening in the world right now, despite all of the distraction, why do you believe that right now is actually the best time for someone to discover and realign with their soul purpose?
Because it's right in our face. It's right there. It's like, here we are. Look, you've got to stop and go, wow, this is not what I was looking at the world was going to be going. And is this, this is, it's just like we were stopped dead in our tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And really, um, it was a very unusual I mean, it was a whole new situation. We've never been through a pandemic in this modern world.
Yeah.
And so just to have that come forward, it's like every movie we've seen came true.
Yeah,
It's like
that's true.
we're living in a movie. They say this is kind of a movie. It is an illusion, and we get to choose the ending, and we get to choose what we want. And this is the truth, because when we're living in this world, we're realizing that um, we have power to change it. So the way we see
Mm-hmm.
the power is by going in. I mean, it's just telling us to go in. It's as simple as that. You've got to go in, and you've got to look at your life and say, is this what I want? And you do look at your relationships. I mean, I've slowed down connecting with people that, I don't feel totally guided to be with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. I mean, they may come back. It's just at the
Yeah.
moment, it's not working that well. So I don't go out of my way. But yet, there's other things. I'm just, I'm very connected to working with people that are, spiritually looking to evolve themselves, because as they evolve, I've evolved. We help each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is we help each other do this work together. So, um, I think this whole opening up for us has allowed us to just see each other in a whole new way that we hadn't seen each other before, that we are a planet of one. I mean, all that was like we talked about, it's just so um it's so relevant to see that we are one, and that we have this power to shift ourselves. Because um if you step into the spiritual world and you start saying, um, I want to send light on the planet, and you start bringing light into your body, don't you see things shifting? I always see things shifting when I'm bringing
Oh
light
yeah.
into my body. As soon as you do a meditation, which we're going to do at the end, um, it helps you to get more in your body. It helps you get more centered. And as soon as you do that, you go out and you have more clarity. So this going in helps you step more fully into your own personal power,
Mm-hmm.
is your spiritual essence, that you are a spark of God, and that you are capable of so many things that we weren't aware of before. So um I don't know if that's a good answer, but I don't know
It
what
is.
else.
I mean, in this whole conversation that we've had about higher consciousness and about your soul purpose, oftentimes people are expecting, as you mentioned, complicated answers, right?
Mhm,
Like,
mhm,
how do I get how do I achieve higher consciousness? How do I ascend through the ladder of consciousness? How do I discover my soul purpose? A lot of the times people are looking for answers that are convoluted or complicated. They think that it takes many years, or maybe so much, I guess, like it takes a lot to figure these things out.
mhm,
But what you're saying is, to ascend in higher consciousness and to discover your soul purpose is very simple. It's to go within, right?
mhm,
And when you live out your soul purpose as an individual, when you are able to realign yourself with your soul purpose and fulfill your soul purpose, that is your contribution to humanity's higher consciousness.
exactly. You're right. You put it in a perfect way. That's exactly the truth. And yeah, when you're on your soul path, I mean, you're doing what you meant to do. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing what you're meant to do, being that human being, whatever you're doing in your life, if you're doing it through your heart, you don't have to even be on a spiritual path. You're still not knowingly, not consciously be on your spiritual path. You're still doing the work without even understanding that you're doing the work. And so understanding, that's a new word I've learned, understanding, which is to connect with the inner self and to understand what's going on in your life. And because of that understanding, you end up really looking through a different lens. I mean, you love
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and I mean, I know that mine totally shifted when I did that. And I just stepped into my work so much more fully. And, and then you've got to keep breaking through the barriers. Don't be afraid to take the next step, even though it's not perfect and you're not sure where it's going to take you. That's where we're at. We don't know where the next step is necessarily going to take us, but we do know that if we take the next step, that the universe is going to provide something, because we're allowing it to evolve. We're allowing it to evolve, and we're allowing the energies to come in to help us move forward. And this is we have all the support right now of all over the universe as supporting us right now, because we are in this amazing moment of time. And
You actually said something really special. I believe that I just wanted to reiterate right now. You mentioned that, everything, all the movies we've watched in the past, it seems like it's happening right now. And we actually live in this illusion of, our life right now feels like the movies, right? And the illusion there is that people think they don't have the power to choose the ending. Because normally when we're watching a movie, everything is already pre-planned, pre-directed by someone else.
yes,
But you've pointed out right now that that's an illusion. We have the power to choose the ending. And I love that you pointed out that by owning our divine light, by really living out our soul purpose, that's essentially us choosing what ending we want. And like you mentioned, you've worked with a lot of clients who of different age groups, right? And you help them reconnect with their soul purpose. There is no, like, if any of our viewers here are watching and they feel like, oh, maybe it's too late for me to live out my soul purpose. It's not.
never. It
It's
doesn't
not.
matter how young you are or how old you are. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can be in your spiritual work even at a young age. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends on what your family support is too, because if family support you in your spiritual work, then you open up even quicker. But if they
Mm-hmm.
shut you down and go, oh no, that's silly what you're saying, then of course it takes longer to open up. But even all that's shifting, because people are getting more and more awake. And if you become awake, then you plant the seeds to the next person. Like I said, people look at you and go, well, what are you doing that's different? I can see that you're different. I
Yeah.
can see that something's going, that inner light just starts shining forth, because you are living from your heart. You're using your heart as a deciding factor. They say that there's three brains, the mind, the heart, and the gut. And those three,
Uh,
and so, the brain is the ego, and there's nothing wrong. The ego is not a bad thing, but the ego keeps us safe, and it keeps us in the polarity kind of sometimes.
yeah.
The heart totally shifts you gets you into more of the truth. And then the gut is like that. It's like it's your instinct. It's
Mm.
almost like, if you feel guided not to do
It's your
something,
guide. Yeah.
and then you do it, don't you always go, oh no, I was guided not to, but I did it anyway, and it did not work out. I've
Mm.
had that happen to me plenty of times. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
I just don't follow it, and I'm like, oh no, you got to be kidding, and I don't follow it. And then I'm like, why don't I follow it? It's like following Waze. I don't know if you know Waze on the car. Waze is another GPS system,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm familiar with it.
WAZE, and I love that system because it gets you out of trouble on the highway. So
Yeah. Tells you where the cops are. Where.
exactly. And if you don't listen to Waze, and it happened recently, we were on a trip going out of the state, go see my grandson, and my husband's like, oh no, it's saying going this way. And I said, we said we weren't going to divert from when Waze tells us, and he diverted, got right into the thick of a mess,
Oh.
and we were
Thick
stuck
traffic.
for
Mm.
another 45 minutes doing it. So
Oh boy.
this is what our gut is. It's that GPS telling us to get out of the way. Don't go that way. Go another way. So these are the things that we have. When we listen to them, it guides us in the right way.
That's
And
beautiful.
it really helps us to really stay on the path. So that's
Mm.
why you have to do the inner work to stay tuned in. We have to listen to our bodies. If your body's hurting, and there's a lot of aches and pains going on right now because of
Mm.
light coming in, because it's shifting our DNA. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of us have heard, it's shifting us from the carbon to the crystalline. And that's not easy. It's never been done before in human
Mm.
body. So it's painful. It can be painful, especially if you're very
Mm.
dense, if you haven't allowed any light in. So if you're resisting, it's even more difficult. And
Mm.
that's why you've got to, I mean, you don't have to, you can choose it. You always have a choice. But for me, when I see I'm in resistance, I've got to step back and go, okay, what's going on? Why
Mm,
am I resisting? And then I have to go into a quiet spot and just listen. And
mm,
I get an answer. Okay, this is what you have to do. And you may not like the answer, but sometimes it's good to just listen to it. It's your inner guidance saying, try this, try it. What have you got to lose? If it doesn't work, you'll go another way. You'll find another
mm,
way. And when we have to just keep going to the next level, just keep trying new things because we don't know the answer to everything. But as we go in and we ask, we do get the guidance through our inner self because it's coming from the higher power. It's coming from our higher self telling us, all right, you're asking. So I'm so glad you're here now that you're asking. And
that's powerful.
it gives
And I
us
think people actually, you mentioned that fear, don't be afraid of making mistakes, even,
no.
because I think the reason why people fear making mistakes is that they fear that there won't be a chance for a do-over, you know?
Oh, no, there's always a chance for a do-over. Plus, I
Yeah.
think they fear judgment. I think everyone
Mm,
fears
yeah,
judgment because, so being wrong is not the end of the world.
exactly.
I've been wrong so many times in my life. If I listened to everything I did that was wrong, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now.
Mm,
I would have just given up. But you know
mm,
what? It's like, it's okay. I had to learn through those mistakes and you keep learning and you keep
yeah.
growing. And I think people, and that makes you a transparent person. It makes you real. It makes you authentic. And that's what we're moving into, being authentic. I mean, I mean, we're not perfect beings. I mean, we are in God's eyes, I suppose, and source's eyes, but yet perfection is all of us, all the
Mhm,
light and all the dark parts that we're shifting. And as we shift, into the next level of consciousness, we're opening the doors to so much more. And, the next level, you're not going to see like two worlds split or anything. Although sometimes you might see living side by side with people. You're like, wow, I can't go that way where they're going, but yet you're still there and you're still
mm,
living in the same planet, but you're doing a different path. And
mhm.
people will slowly, either they notice you or they don't notice you. That's what's been
Yeah.
happening. We're living in this, what do they call it? Bifurcation,
Mhm,
where we're shifting together, but some people are shifting quicker than others. And you can be in
mm,
the same room talking and the other people just couldn't hear you. They can't hear you because they're not at that, but it's like that frequency. It's a
mm.
frequency level. It's another.
Definitely, there's lots of things going on. And, I know that as our viewers, we're pre-recording this, but when they're listening to this, we don't know what the current state would be next week, right? We don't know
Exactly.
what might be going on in your own life next week. So
Yep.
let's talk about, soon enough, we will be closing the doors of 2020 and we will be welcoming 2021 into our lives. Now, I would like to find out, what is your vision, Janet, for 2021? Do you mind sharing it with us?
Well, the way I see it is opening the doors to all this light coming on the planet. I mean, we're ready. We're at that brink. The collective consciousness. I mean, there's a majority that's ready to bring in this highlight. And as we bring it in and we um, just stay in the neutral part of no non-judgment of the others who aren't maybe awake at the moment, but
Mm,
open up our hearts to them and just send energy, the positive energy to everyone that you don't agree with. Just send the positive energies out there and send them blessings. You don't have to agree, just send them love because it'll help bring a lot of light into their lives. And you could be shifting them just by you sending them love. You don't
mm,
have to be in their presence. You don't have to be calling them or talking to them. And you don't even have to know them. But if
yeah.
there's things like even the political environment, just sending light to all of the politicians in the world, especially in the United States right now, to
Mm,
clear what's going on, to bring us into a higher light is going to
mm,
help our planet shift. And we've got to just stay in our hearts, you know, be in a neutral path, be willing to listen to both sides, agree or don't agree, just be neutral. That's what I'm saying,
mm,
is be neutral as far as, and don't be afraid to say that like if you're going to go out and like I just saw there was a march in England, the million mask march, and people were peacefully marching. And
mm,
so, but then they started getting a little pushed around. And so they weren't asking for that, but they were willing to go out and take a risk. Then there's other groups that go in and they get a little violent. So we've got to, we still got to protect ourselves, but you've got to do it in a way that you're doing it from a centered place. Look
mhm,
at yourself, and realize that this is a lot of fear. The ones that are
Mhm.
really being violent, I think it's fear. It's all fear based,
Yeah.
or they're being guided by, they're not doing any inner work that's allowing them to see that
Mhm.
what they're doing isn't really changing things. It's just not helping things. So all I say is be in the heart, be in the neutral zone, sending light all over the planet. When you're nervous or you're scared, sit down, put your hands on your heart, and get quiet and just ask for guidance. Just open the door to God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, and ask for peacefulness and guidance to come in. Let's say, I don't know what to do right now. I'm getting really overwhelmed by these energies around me. I'm getting overwhelmed by these things going around me. Help me calm down. When you get into those spaces, you get to think much more clearly.
Mhm.
And
It's really all about intention. Like you can
exactly.
either act in fear or act out of love.
Yeah.
And as you've
Mhm.
mentioned, 2021, we are ready, right? 2021 is all about, this is what this event is all about. It's about encouraging people and guiding them to embody the age of love and to prepare our audience for this vision and embodiment of love. I know that you are called to lead us in a meditation, Janet. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. So, yes, I just want everyone to put their feet in the ground, close your eyes, and we're going to take a nice deep breath and blow it out. Then take another deep breath and blow it out. And then take a third deep breath and blow it out. And I want you to visualize going down your legs, those crystalline roots of light, and see them going down your legs and out your feet and going down, down through the layers of the earth. And when you see there's a giant crystal in that center of the earth, that's the heart of Mother Gaia. Connect with her and become one with her. And then now Mother Gaia is going to send up her crystalline light, and you're going to send it up through those roots of light again, up into through your feet, up into your body, into your belly, into your arms, up through your chest, into your neck, up and through your head, and then it's going to float out your top of your, go right through the crown like a beam of light, and see that light going out right the roof of your house, all the way up, and it's going to connect way up off planet. You're going to go way up into that inky purple universe, and we're going to connect to a star that's twinkling at us. So now you're connecting to this beautiful soul family that you're connected with. And now we're going to also send a beam of light to the central sun, which is our portal of light. This is our beautiful portal that is shifting us into the DNA. And as we connect to the sun, we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to step into the light of the sun right now. Just step right into that portal. See it as a stairway of light leading us. And as you take this stairway through this portal, you're going to come to a door, this brilliant door of light. Open that door and step in. And as you step into that door of light, into that beautiful portal of light, we're in this beautiful, all I see is light. We're just enshrouded in light. And as our eyes get used to the brightness of this light, I see us all start to gather. We're gathering in big circles, circles among circles. It's just like a circle, a tight circle in the middle, and then a circle that's just spiraling out like a spiral. And just a little room in the middle, we're going to see a pillar of light come in. And this pillar of light is going to send out spokes of light to each person all over the earth, connecting to this pillar of light. Spokes of light will connect to each one of us so that we're all connected. We're all connected at this time in this portal of light. And as we feel this energy coming in, this is the love light. This is our source love light coming in and opening our hearts, feel it coming in gently, lovingly. Put your hands on your heart if you need to, just to connect. Allow it to come in. Take a breath. And now you can open your eyes and look at each other in that circle. While you're in this light, just open your eyes in this circle of light and look at each other. And as you look, what do you see? I see mirrors. We're all mirrors of each other, mirrors of light, sending love, because we're sending that light to each one of us. It's just radiating back like a prism. It's just many, many parts. This beautiful light is just radiating all through all of us and shrouding us in this light. Just sending this light all through all of humanity. See it encircling us and see us on the planet, seeing us now on planet Earth, and see our whole planet, just see all of us lit up all over the earth, and planet Earth all lit up with this beautiful light. Our globe is shining, it's shimmering, it's brilliant light. Just see that light just encasing us all. Just feel that light, feel that energy. And this is love. I also see rose light starting to come in, this beautiful rose light, which is love light, coming through with that beautiful, brilliant white light. Just infusing this rose light all through all of us. And we have rose and white light just infusing each of us and infusing our planet. So even the earth, the animals, all of the beings, all of us are being infused. And let it come through even deeper. Just breathe it in. Take another breath and blow out. Take another breath and blow it out. Take another breath and blow it out. Just feel that energy just flowing right through your body. This is huge source light coming through right now. Just filling us. Breaking apart any density, anything in the way. It's just slowly filtering in, just filling us up. I mean, we're enshrouded in it. Wow. So then breathe it in. You can breathe in light. It just fills you in more. Feel it encircle you, each body. There are these beautiful luminous beings of light. This is where we are. This is where we're going. This is who we are meant to be. Luminous humans. Because we are essences of light, God light. It's still coming in, so just stay with it. I feel it just filling me up. I hope you're feeling this too. And if you can't, just imagine it. Just imagine this beautiful light coming in. Just feel it. It just feels like a warm light, warm love, a warm flowing love. Because unconditional love is what you're feeling, and unconditional love is a place. It's not just an emotion, it's a place. We are right now in that place of unconditional love that we're feeling. And once more, just open your eyes and look at each other in this circle of light. Just embrace each other with your eyes. Just look through the mirrors of each other's eyes to know that we are all one. We are all in this together. We are all shifting and changing at different levels, but we're all together in this, and that we are meant to be here for each other as well as learning to love who we are as beings of light. Okay, slowly we're going to see that light stay around you as a bubble, but then we're going to allow ourselves to come out of that portal. So come back down those stairs, come back down those stairs, back towards that beam of light that sent you up there. Step back into that beam. See your essence just go into that beam of light, and you're going to come floating down to the earth, back into your body very gently, very lovingly. You're back in your body. Feel your feet in the ground. Take a breath. If you don't feel connected to your body, just give it some time. Wow. Just slowly, slowly want to thank all our guides and angels and beings of light who helped us get to this frequency today. It's really beautiful. And we thank you, all beings of light, for all of us that are here, all of us that have participated. We have connected to the world, to the planet. We're now asking them to step back, cutting all cords. And you can now open your eyes slowly. Come back into your body.
That was beautiful, Janet.
I feel like we had such an
Mhm.
infusion of light on the planet doing that. I think it
Mhm.
put us into it like a whole other place. How do you feel?
I feel so relaxed.
Uh,
And I feel that like right now, everything is in the right place at the right time. Not just for me, but for all of our listeners right now.
yeah, that's exactly right. That's how I feel too. I feel like this is what we can do together. When we do it together, it's so much more powerful. So all of us are doing it together because you are here in your essences, all those that are planning to be here. And you can also do it later. We'll have this as it'll be a recording, so you'll get
Mhm.
this. And yeah, that was powerful. So we're guided to go where we're meant to go. And this is the power that we have to shift our planet, to be the light that we're meant to be, and
Mhm.
to bring that to the whole planet, and to bring it to ourselves as well. That we are all
Absolutely.
mirrors of light to each other, and that this beautiful energy is here to share, to also embody it, and then to share
Mhm.
it, which is what we
Mhm.
did.
Mhm.
So thank you all for being here.
Yeah, and for all of our viewers here, I just want to thank you for joining us in this segment. You know, evolving consciousness is all about helping you unlock your 5D consciousness, because 2021 is, we're ready for it. It's all about embodying the age of love. And just like what Janet mentioned here, for you to contribute to that embodiment of love for the entire collectiveness of humanity, it's really all about lining up with your soul purpose, right? And when you do the work within, you're able to love yourself, which feels really good when you love yourself. But you
Absolutely.
also have an abundance flowing inside you that you can give just as much love to everyone else around you. And that really is what the Aquarian age is all about. And so if you're interested and you want to really dive deep into unlocking your 5D consciousness, and you want to work with Janet to help you realign and reconnect with your soul purpose, everything is available to you. It's all in the link below this video. And once again, Janet, thank you so much for giving me this honor to interview you for this special event. Thank you for sharing your vision of 2021 for us. I'm super excited because it's going to be an amazing year.
I
We
think
are so ready for it.
we are. It's an amazing year. And, thank you, Paige. You did an amazing job. And I love the clarity that you brought in with all the ways you see things. It was absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to thank you all for being here, and welcome to our evolution.
Welcome. Yeah, exciting evolution. All right.
Yeah, it really is.